So we are officially starting. You're welcome to Eretmis Cyber Chat. We do this every Friday night, 7 p.m. Eastern to 8:30, thereabout. We try to keep it 8:30, but most of the times we go over around 9. And we do this for the community to help educate to, as cybersecurity professionals, aspiring cybersecurity professionals, to meet as a group of like-minded people, professionals, and discuss different cybersecurity topics and give you some really good insights that you might not even get from school if you go to college or any other boot camp out there. And we do this for free, right? This is our way of helping the community and making sure we are growing as cybersecurity professionals. So tonight's topic, we are going to be looking at the top 5 ways to gain cybersecurity experience before your first role in cybersecurity. And there are a lot of Eretmis students here who can attest to this. They got their first cybersecurity job, and on the job, they became pros just overnight because of what they went through at Eretmis, right? So they gained the cybersecurity experience before they got their first role. But the first question we are going to be asked before we start this discussion is that even possible? And if it's possible, everybody is going to give their take on what are some of the things you can do to gain this, experience before, landing your first cybersecurity role, right? Because most people, especially career switches or changes, trying to move into the cybersecurity space, they always think, or they have this misconception that you cannot gain cybersecurity experience before you get a cybersecurity role. You have to actually get a cybersecurity role and gain the experience. But then the problem you run into is every job description is asking for some years of experience or of some type, right? So even for your quote and unquote, your entry-level roles, some entry-level roles they're asking for 3 years of experience, which is kind of ironic. If you're entry-level and 3 years it doesn't match. Entry-level should be 0 to probably 6 months, but they're asking for some level of experience. So how do you build this? And we are going to look at a very extensive list, 5, top ways of doing this. They're very extensive, and everybody's going to gain something out of this. Like we do every Friday, we make sure you get something for your toolbox every time, every minute and second that you spend with us. And this is being streamed on YouTube as well. So you can, even if you miss this or you have to drop out, you can always catch the recording on YouTube. Right. So you are very much welcome. And let's jump in. So I'm Dr. Emmanuel Edu. I'm a former United States Army captain. I'm the CEO of Eretmis Inc., a PCI QSA company, a cybersecurity consulting firm based out of New York. Also the founder of Eretmis Academy and a former professor at University of Maryland Global Campus and CTC. And also a member of Forbes Technology Council, and I love to mentor, to coach, to also help cybersecurity professionals or aspiring cybersecurity professionals to be able to break into the industry. Eretmis Academy, we are partners with CompTIA, and what that means that we get 20% discount on all vouchers. Now, most people reach out to us and they assume we have the vouchers already, so we can just give it for them to go purchase with the 20%. How it works is because we are partners with CompTIA, CompTIA gives their partners a portal, CompTIA portal. So through our portal, when we purchase any voucher, it comes with a 20% discount, right? So in order to get a 20% discount, you have to purchase it through us, and then and for us, I think it's even a little bit more than 20%, probably like 23% or thereabout, right? So if you want to sit for any certification, you send an email, we give you the instructions to make the payment, and then we just purchase the voucher on your behalf, and we send you the voucher code and all that, and you use that to register for the exams, right? So that is how you get your 20%. Now, if you have any cybersecurity certification or you are looking to get one, every 3 years you have to renew your certification, and you can do this by either resitting for the exams or using what we call continuous educational points. So for that, if you attend webinars like this, you get 1 CPE or CEU points for every 45 minutes that you spend on this program. So you simply have to put team hashtag in the comment section and take a screenshot of it you can also add today's date, and you can use that for certification renewal. So with that, we are going to be jumping into our discussion. We also have a WhatsApp group. The link has been posted in the group chat, in the chat. So you can use that link to join the Eretmis Cyber Chat WhatsApp group. And then also we are on School. That link has been posted as well. School is a version of WhatsApp that you can post, more videos in form of class session type in there as well. And for tonight's topic, we are going to be looking at 5 ways to gain cybersecurity experience before you land your first role in 2026 and beyond. And before we do, we are going to look at our upcoming training programs. So for our GRC workshop and hands-on workshop and internship is starting on June 20th, 2026. Our AI governance is starting on the 11th of June. Our cloud security is starting on 18th of June. Our next 7-day challenge is starting on the 23rd of June. And then our PCI expert and specialist is starting on the 23rd of June as well. And our cybersecurity entry-level course, a new cohort is going to be starting on the 16th, although the first portion is self-paced, but we also do cohort. That way, that is the cohort that we're going to be moving into the GRC internship and workshop when they complete the first portion. And then our cybersecurity and GRC interview arena. This is where we put you in the hot seat. You practice your cybersecurity interview lines. We give you a job description. If you are not going to an interview, you still get to practice. And we started already. So this Thursday, we did one, very informative. So you get really good feedback, and that preps you for a real interview before you actually go to your interview, right? So this is the arena. You are going to be in the hot seat, and we are going to interview you. You are going to go through at least 4 stages. The recruiter, the recruiter stage, the hiring manager stage, you go to your security manager stage, and then leadership stage. All these, at least, you are going to battle with 4, 5, or 6 questions per session, right? And it is recorded, so you're going to get your recording back. You are going to have really good feedback as well. And this is, through school. The link is also posted, so if you want to join, you can join that as well. Now, for folks who are looking to break into the cybersecurity space, our entry-level course, best so far, hands down. It gives you the foundation, theoretical knowledge. The first portion covers the theoretical knowledge, a very solid foundation in cybersecurity, focusing on the defensive side or the blue side of security. And then you are going to move into our GRC workshop and internship, where you get to work and practice your skill as a cybersecurity professional. So that is where you are going to polish up on your skill and gain that real world experience working on real projects for 2 of our sister companies, right? And then once you're done, we help with interview prep, we help with resumes as well, right? And then for folks who have already taken, if you've taken some classes already, now this has changed the dates. Tentatively, it was June 6th, but that has changed. For folks, if you have a cybersecurity degree, a master's degree, you've taken some GRC training elsewhere, but you really know you don't have the practical hands-on, you've not done any projects, this is the program for you. This is the second portion of the entry level, but it's a standalone program that you can jump in if you don't have that hands-on, because that is what employers are looking for. Without this, you are going to be a walking heart attack on the job. You wouldn't be able to function. You can have all the certifications in the world, 5 master's degrees in cybersecurity. If you've not done anything in cybersecurity in terms of projects, you've not done it. No matter how smart you are, you don't know what you don't know. So something you've not done, you cannot just conjure something, from somewhere and function on the job. It's not going to work. And if you find yourself in that role, you manage to get a job, but you don't know what you're doing, nobody can help you. You literally have to quit. ChatGPT can help you. Your friend can help you. You have to be able to do this on your own. And if you don't have the hands-on, then you just got the opportunity, but you didn't make good use of it. And then also for our cloud security, for folks, if you're already in the security space, you need to join this. You need to be proficient in also doing security in the cloud and in AWS, Azure, and Google Cloud. And this is vendor neutral training we cut across all 3 major cloud service providers. And it's very hands-on. It comes with a very strong, robust internship that you're going to go through working on different projects and different scenarios. And then our AI governance. So AI governance, I recommend that to everybody. If you're already, and this is a must-have, not nice to have anymore, right? If you're already in the cybersecurity space, or you are even trying to break into IT space, not necessarily just cybersecurity. AI governance is a path that you can take even without any cybersecurity background, right? So we encourage, this is also very hands-on, and you are going to learn a lot of cool stuff that is going to help you polish up what you do on day-to-day basis professionally, and then also in your daily activities as well. Now, for our payment security compliance, this is a niche within the compliance space. One of the arguably the most lucrative niches in cybersecurity. If you are looking to break into the 200Ks, 250Ks in one job, this is the program that is going to help you do that. Right now, this we are going to walk you through strategically how to manage the PCI DSS program for a company, or how to work in a consulting firm like Eretmis, which is a QSA company, to also provide advisory and strategy for our clients as well, right? And this is very hands-on. You are going to learn a lot, and you'll be able to manage. We have students managing big corporate, PCI programs, and it's just our students who are at the top working as the PCI programs managers for these companies, and they couldn't have done that if they didn't go through this program. So this is the best PCI program out there. If you're looking to specialize in the most lucrative niche in cybersecurity, then this is it. Right now, with that, we are going to move into our discussion for tonight, and I will start with this question: is it possible to build cybersecurity experience without working in a paid position in cybersecurity? You can hold your thoughts on that. We are going to come back to this shortly. But before we jump back into that, I want us to briefly, for folks who've been joining Cyber Chat for a while, you will know, or if you've taken our Cybersecurity for Beginners, the free course, at least you know about CyberSeek. This is a website that is managed by some government agencies, and also they take insight from academia, from the cybersecurity industry, from the government side. They track cybersecurity job openings in real time. So if you're joining us for the first time, you can go to this website and play around to see what they have on there. So they have another version of this in Australia and other places as well, where they track cybersecurity job openings, and they call this. So what we are looking at is their heat map. So this shows you the supply and demand map for the United States. So here you can see historical. They started this from 2010. That is when they started the research up to today, and they started keeping track of everything that is going on. Right. So currently there are 500,000 cybersecurity job openings in the United States. So that is it right here. Total online job openings, 514,000. Right. Now, current cybersecurity professionals, so people who are currently working in cybersecurity, 1.3 plus. Right. Now, why am I showing you this? And then also you can break it down by state. So if maybe you live in Montana, there is about 1,600 cybersecurity jobs there. If you live in North Dakota, there's 1,300 jobs over there. Now, when you are looking or searching for cybersecurity jobs, don't limit yourself to your state, because most cybersecurity jobs are remote. So don't limit yourself to your state. Just apply. And mostly when you are applying in this, when you are trying to break into the industry, you want to get as many interviews as possible to polish up your craft. So don't really, even if the job is in Texas and you have no intentions of moving to Texas, just take the interview for practice, right? Take it for practice, because the employers are also interviewing you for practice to get the best candidate. So don't feel like you are using them or wasting their time. They are also wasting your time if they don't move you forward, right? So you are equally, if they find you to be the best candidate, okay, that's fine. If not, they are going to move on. So same thing, you are using them to prepare yourself for your ideal job. So just take any interview and every interview that you're going to get. Now, even if the money is not what you are looking for, if they say, well, we're going to pay you 50K as a cybersecurity professional, nobody should take that or even listen to that. But for interview purposes, you're not going to take it when they give you the offer, but you are just using, the interview to polish up on your craft, right? Because maybe it will surprise you Yes, 50K, you don't want to take it, but you go to the interview and the interview will teach you a thing or two, right? Uh, Recently, we were actively for a project that we are working on. We're looking for a pen tester, and that we know what is going on in the industry, but that has also given us a different perspective currently on what is going on. There are some people that we wanted to give them those opportunities, but when they went to the final interview with one of our clients, oh, that was, kind of an eye opener for them because they thought they were professional pen testers and they knew their stuff, right? So that was a wake up call for a couple of folks who've gone through these interviews trying to get that role on our side. So this is to tell you, I mean, take any interview, every interview, practice, right? Don't be picky about, no, I don't want that. I want that. I mean, who says they're even going to give you the job in the first place? So why be picky? Take the interview for practice, polish up on your craft because maybe you can do the job. Or if you've gone through our entry level course, our internship, I can tell you on authority, you can do the job. Any job on the blue side, you can do. Now you have to pass the interview. And passing the interview, knowing the job is one, but how you position yourself to deliver your answers, how you are going to, come up with, your situation, tax action results, answers, you have to polish that up, right? And for all of us, we come from different backgrounds. Some people are really good speakers, others not so much. That is why some people are even able to fall through the cracks because they are good speakers and they are smart. They are able to get cybersecurity jobs, but they don't know what they are doing, and they end up getting fired. So if you can do the job and you don't polish up your craft, people who can do the job might talk the big talk and get the job, and they get fired, and they've wasted your spot, right? So that is why we have to polish up on our craft, interviewing, answering questions, right? So that is why our cybersecurity GRC arena and interview session, that is exactly the reason why we created that. So it will be a very, great learning environment for you to learn and grow, right? And to build your interviewing skills. But still, in real life, you can use these companies to practice and, polish up on your interviewing skills. So why are we looking at this? Now, we are going to be referring to CyberSeek, some sessions of CyberSeek. So for anybody who is not familiar with CyberSeek, if you are trying to break into cybersecurity, this is one of the very key tools for you to use, right? It is going to let you know, give you some insight into what is really going on in the cybersecurity market. So if somebody tells you the cybersecurity market is saturated, well, just come here and refer them to this. 500,000 job openings. So if you're applying to a job and they are not responding or they are not calling you for an interview or moving you forward, don't ever think the industry is saturated. Just think that you are doing something wrong. So you have to fish out what you are doing wrong to correct that. That way you start getting interviews back because the jobs are there and every single day they are posting new jobs. So it has nothing to do with the demand is very high, supply is very low. And you can see from these charts, the job opening trends, employed. So even for people who've been employed, this number keeps increasing, but also the demand also keeps increasing and the supply stays low. Supply is always low, right? Demand and supply is always low, demand is high. That is why in the cybersecurity industry, employers don't have the luxury of saying, well, we are looking for somebody who has a degree in cybersecurity before we are going to employ them, or you must have these 5 certifications or 3 certifications before we can give you. If if the industry is saturated, then they are going to be using that to be the differentiator, right? Pick people and not to pick less. But they don't have that luxury. There's a very limited pool of qualified people who can do the job. So you are lucky if you run into a couple of them. So, and if you run into them and they don't have a master's in cybersecurity, but they can prove to you that they can do the job, why waste your time on, is the master's degree what is going to do the job for you? And that is not to look down or talk down on master's degree in anything, right? But cybersecurity is more hands-on and practical until the industry gets saturated, which I don't see that happening any time in the near future, because cyber criminals are not going on strike And as we are getting smarter with AI, they are also getting smarter, and they are going to be able to. So if five cyber criminals were causing companies maybe $1 million in terms of losses, now one cybersecurity criminal or hacker who is not even that skilled, with the help of AI, can do more, meaning we need more cybersecurity professionals, right? And now is AI going to replace us? No, AI also needs protection. And we've discussed this a while ago. AI is a software just like any other software, but it's a smart software that behaves or tries to mimic human intelligence. That is it. That is the difference between AI as a tool and other tools out there. And AI needs security more than other tools out there. So AI, yes, it will help what we do for security, but it's not going to replace you as a cybersecurity professional because AI also needs help, right? So, and if you come down here, we have the different. NICE is an institution that was created under NIST, and most of you are familiar with NIST frameworks. So NIST, they are big players when it comes to cybersecurity frameworks. They created NICE, and NICE is the National Institute for Cybersecurity Education. So they are responsible for everything cybersecurity education in the United States, and they have a cybersecurity workforce framework. The workforce framework was based on the research, and you can actually go through and you can Google it and find out how this came about. All the way up to 2010 is when they started doing the research to help, put all cybersecurity roles or kind of make sense out of the cybersecurity workforce, right? So we have different roles, different job titles. How do they all work? How can we put them all in different, baskets? So we will know we have at least 5 baskets of all everything in cybersecurity. Now, whether you work in this job title or that job title, you all fall under that basket, right? And that is what they literally did. So they have the oversight and governance section of cybersecurity, and based on this website, oversight and governance, we have over 300,000 jobs openings in oversight and governance. When you come to design and development, we have over 300 jobs in there, and some of these might overlap. So if you see the numbers like that, it doesn't mean there's 305 and there's another 300 and another 300, and right. So this is a very good tool for everybody to use and play around with. Now, if we go to the career path, they have different options. So they have feeder roles. So these are roles that you can move from these roles into some of the cybersecurity roles. And this is by no means all the cybersecurity roles that are out there. Cybersecurity specialist, cybercrime analyst, incident response. Now, there is no GRC specialist, GRC, all these incident response, risk analyst, all these are cybersecurity roles, right? So this is just a summary or kind of an overview of some of the popular cybersecurity roles, right? So if you if you click on this, it is going to show you that from IT support, you can move into any of these roles. If you click on networking, from networking, you can move into these roles. Right now, this is just specifically looking at kind of cyber IT space, because there are other non-IT roles that can easily also fill these as a career, switcher, right? And previously they had the average salaries for these roles, but I think now they took it out, or you probably have to no, I don't think. Yeah, I think they took that out. Right. So this is a very good tool that is going to help you to learn a lot about the cybersecurity space. And then if you come to education and training, they have a list of cybersecurity schools around in different areas. And I think Eretmis, last time I checked, Eretmis was here. So we can narrow it down by New York. Or we can even just look for Eretmis on here. Yeah, Eretmis is there, right? Right there. So Eretmis is also industry recognized certifications. Eretmis is also listed on here. But this is not to show you that Eretmis is listed on here, but at least to show you that this is a tool that you can use and play around with, right? Now, when we go back to the map, I wanted us to look at something real quick. If you click on any of these, it is going to expand and show you under oversight. So this is one category of the cybersecurity major areas. So under oversight and governance, you have system authorization, privacy compliance, cybersecurity policy and planning. And these are not job titles. They are major, categories or major areas in cyber. We call it categories, framework categories in cybersecurity, right? So you can learn a lot from this. We are not going to go too deep into the cybersecurity workforce framework. I think we did a whole session on this, right? Now, with this, we are going to jump into cybersecurity jobs. Just pick, maybe look at one or two cybersecurity jobs out there and make a point out of this before we move into our discussion. So we just randomly picked this cybersecurity analyst from ATC, and I was trying to show everybody what I was talking about, right? In terms of, well, they expect you to come in ready to fight. They are not going to show you or teach you how to fight. They can teach you how in terms of their SOPs and how they go about their fighting, but you have a part to play. So if they brought you in as for a specific role as the risk analyst, they expect you to do your risk analyst job and do it well, right? And nobody has to teach you how to do your risk analyst job. So for job descriptions, you are going to see, okay, so the title, the company, the qualifications that they are looking for, and I'm just trying to see if they put some numbers in there. So you partner closely with, okay, including NIST frameworks such as NIST, SANS, ISO, hands-on experience, designing, executing security and technology controls, experience supporting regulatory frameworks, and mostly for, okay, benefits. When we jump from benefits, we go to, if we go all the way down here, okay, so this is what I was looking at, what you will bring. So what they expect you to have, I think most of these were listed up there. Now, if you come down here, what everybody, so for all career, folks who are looking to switch careers into cybersecurity, look at what they are looking for. These are the skills they are looking for in terms of what they expect you to be able to bring to the table, right? Now, they are experience working with cybersecurity frameworks, hands-on experience, experience supporting regulatory frameworks, knowledge of incident response, experience with risk assessment, vulnerability assessment, ability to perform security architecture and IT reviews, working knowledge of enterprise and OT technologies, including firewalls, routers, strong written and verbal communication skills with the ability to translate technical concepts to diverse audience. And mostly they will list a bit more of soft skills, down here as well. So this is to let everybody know that if soft skills or presentation skills, interpersonal skills were not important, why are they listing it as part of the experience they are looking for? Right. So just think about that, because to advertise your job on LinkedIn or anywhere is not cheap and it's not free. So you have limited space. You cannot just put anything and everything that you want. You have limited space. So things that are not important to what you're looking for, you're not going to put it on there. So if they put, written and verbal communication skills, is the only time you are going to get strong, written and verbal communication skills and ability to translate technical concepts for diverse audience. Can you only gain this through actually being in a cybersecurity role for years? And the obvious answer is no. You can gain this from any field, right? Now, yes, granted, all these things are technical. This is not technical, not like you're going to do coding. And we've discussed that previous cyber chats. But it's still technical. You have to know cybersecurity, because if you don't know cybersecurity, this might sound like Greek or Chinese if you don't understand Chinese to you, right? But if you know cybersecurity, then reading this, you understand exactly what they are looking for, and then together with the soft skills, right? Now, for this, they didn't really state the years of experience on here, or maybe probably I've missed it, but I can see it on here, right? Now, let's look at the security analyst one. So this is a security analyst. And this, if you just at a glance, I can see this is very strong network background, is required for this. I mean, I didn't even look at it. So I didn't even see this. I just saw TCP, I saw NAT, VPN, I was just picking up on some of the networking stuff on here, and I just realized one of the qualifications is strong networking fundamentals. Right. So this is, I mean, all these very technical. Now, amidst all these technical things they are looking for, right? Pay attention when you get down here, you see strong analytical and troubleshooting skills, ability to manage multiple priorities, strong documentation and communication skills, team oriented, oriented with commitment to operational excellence. So all these skills that they are looking for, you don't have to. This is a combination of what they are. If you have all these technical skills they are looking for, and you don't have any of these soft skills, nobody's going to give you the job. And you can ask anybody who's gotten cybersecurity job on here. You can throw that challenge. If they just did one technical interview and that was it, they had no soft skills interview, or if they did a soft skills interview and even they didn't do well on the soft skills because they are technically proficient, they were given the role. No, it doesn't work that way. Nobody is hiring just for a technical head. They are hiring for a comprehensive cybersecurity professional, somebody who is dynamic, who can work in different teams and work under different situations and circumstances. Because just knowing what to do, I mean, if you are the best surgeon in the world, but you can't work as a team, you can't do surgery by yourself, right? Nobody in a theater, there is no one man, in a theater room who is operating on, nobody is even going to allow you to do that. Operate on somebody by yourself, just you doing everything is not possible. Meaning you are going to work with people, even if you are the one with all the expertise and you are the one going to actually be doing the surgery. And if you are rude, you don't have any good interpersonal relationship, you can't work with people, you are really of no use to any hospital. Same thing applies here. So they are not just looking for your technical skills. So when they say years of experience, it's not just your technical skills that they are looking for or experience overall. And do you need to work in cybersecurity to gain strong analytical and troubleshooting skills, ability to manage multiple priorities, strong documentation and communication skills? Is this only through cybersecurity work or experience that you are going to gain all these? The obvious answer is no. Right. Now, this is okay. So this is just talking about the contract. I'm still trying to see this didn't also say anything about years of experience. Maybe when we look at the extended version, we'll be able to see that, but still didn't see that on here. So let's look at the last one. Now, this is IT cyber specialist.
Doug,
Yes, go ahead, please.
please, want to follow you online, see where you are picking all these details. So, it looks like, have you exited the supply and demand page, or where would you?
Okay. So you guys cannot see the page. You can only talk about hear what I'm talking about, but you can't see because it's on the same page. Can everybody see what I'm looking at?
No, no, we can see it. I can see it, but I want to open the same page on my laptop so I
No,
can
no. I
keep
just googled.
reference and then revisit. Oh,
Cybersecurity analyst jobs in US
okay, okay, okay.
on
That's
Google, just
that's
on
from
Google.
Google.
Yeah. So
Okay.
what is coming up is I'm just using this for demonstrational purposes. Right.
Thank you, Doc.
Yes. So and just for us to realistically see, I mean, these were not posted by me, right? They were posted by different companies. So and you can see they all follow the same pattern and they are looking for pretty much the same things. Now, some of the technicalities of what they are looking for changes, but overall, yes. And what I was looking for, this gave it, right on the money. So if you come down to the requirement for this IT cyber security specialist, uh, it is here, it says requirements, degree or certification in information security or cybersecurity field. This is not set in stone. It's not hard requirement. Now, strong interest in developing ICS specific cybersecurity skills, experience in uh, Microsoft Office. Now, and then also 2 years in manufacturing plant floor experience with exposure to industrial IT systems and controls. So, this is to show everybody, and like I always keep telling everybody, whatever you have coming into cybersecurity is needed. You're not going to throw that away. If somebody has been working in manufacturing plant floor and they have that manufacturing plant floor experience, and I've just been working in IT for years, I have no experience in. You think if we go head to head, who's going to get this job? If he's half proficient in terms of the technical side, 100% proficient, he's still going to beat me because of his previous background, right? So that also goes to show for everybody who is a career switcher, mostly when you are looking for jobs, don't limit yourself. But if you have the luxury, look more into your background, like if you're coming from healthcare, look more into cybersecurity analyst or cybersecurity roles in the health side, because when you go there, you have an upper hand on anybody else who is coming from a different sector trying to break into cybersecurity and then go into the healthcare side, right? So that is an advantage on your side because you understand the healthcare language, and that is a big plus, to you than anybody else. So, Justin, please go ahead.
Yeah, no, my question is that a good idea to see the job on LinkedIn and then go to their website and apply from there? Is that a good idea?
Okay, so I think you are going to take me back. Now, this is exclusively for, mostly during our resume and interview prep session during our internship and workshop is where we discuss this. But everybody else can also benefit from this for being here tonight. Now, one strategy when you are applying to these jobs is if it is possible, right, and it should be possible, when you go to Google, you type in your cybersecurity jobs or third-party risk analyst jobs, whichever job titles you are shooting for, Google is going to give you a list. So if you pay attention to the top here, we have the AI mode, all jobs. When you click on the jobs, it's just going to shortlist jobs. Like Google is just going to give you some list of jobs, right? And then that is about it. So sometimes, depending on the specialty or the specific area you are looking for, when you open it to all, it gives you a whole bunch of jobs. But then when you limit it to Google jobs, it gives you like maybe 7 or 10 or 12. And you think, well, there's not that much jobs out there. There is, right? Because when you just go to all, and then also you can shortlist it by when this was posted. So you want jobs that were posted like 2 to 3 days ago, right? You don't want to be applying to jobs that were posted last month. All those jobs are probably being filled or they are on the last round of their interviews. So if you apply to that job, you're not going to get any response. And you are sitting there thinking, somebody has to reach out to me, or maybe the industry just don't like me, right? So I would say maybe jobs that were posted yesterday, and now this will give you fresh jobs that were posted yesterday, and there's a whole list, right? Now this is 100 plus jobs, and this is just the Google ones, the ones that Google has shortlisted. Now, if you go here, you can see there are jobs listed on Indeed. There are 1,000 plus jobs on LinkedIn, right? And Glassdoor, there are 2,080 something jobs on Glassdoor based on the keywords. See, it is picking from the keywords. For even my cybersecurity, I put a space in it. You can, if I put cybersecurity together, the results is going to be different, right? So it is picking up on keywords and stuff like that. Now you can click on any of these links. Maybe if you click on LinkedIn, you see a lot of jobs that are posted on LinkedIn. I would advise, for example, if maybe this was LinkedIn and I clicked on this job is for Scientific Research Corporation. I will go specifically I'll just look up this company, go to their website, go to their careers or jobs, and then I'll look for this role if it is still posted on the company's website, and I'll apply through them instead of applying through LinkedIn. Because mostly, reason why you have to desist from applying through LinkedIn and other places is that you have one resume posted on LinkedIn, uploaded on LinkedIn already. So once you say you are interested, LinkedIn will just use that resume to apply to that job. Meanwhile, maybe you can do a security analyst job, you can do a third-party risk analyst job, you can do right? And LinkedIn is just using that wrong resume to apply to everything. And that is recipe for disappointment. So what you want to do, if you go to the company's website, it will ask you to create an account, and then it will ask you to upload your resume. So this time you can really tailor your resume to the job description, then upload it. So based on, where you are applying and what you're applying to, you are really polishing up or, you are tailoring your resume to the job description, which is going to give you more results than using LinkedIn, or maybe you have a resume on Indeed or Glassdoor and you are just using that to apply to any and every job, right? Unless, of course, maybe on LinkedIn, you have a third-party risk analyst resume and you are using that to apply to third-party. Even still, you have to tailor it. That way you're able to get more keywords and key phrases in there, right? So hopefully that helps. Now, let's jump into our discussion tonight. We are going to, so the first question is it possible to build cybersecurity experience without working in a paid position in cybersecurity? And I'm going to handpick some people, right, to answer this because I know their background and I know what they are doing now and I know how they started. Or maybe before I call, these volunteers that I'm picking, I'll have them maybe volunteer and speak to this. So for everybody on here, you've gone through Eretmis, you've gone through GRC internship workshop or other training, you've landed a role. What has been your experience? Were you able to build cybersecurity experience before your role? Or you got there and they are training you on your job? Right? You can raise your virtual hand and just talk about the experience, right? So to answer this question, is it possible to build cybersecurity experience without working in cybersecurity? Any takers on here before? George, please go ahead.
Good evening, Doc, and good evening, everyone. From my point of view, experience is not really just employment. Experience might means repetition of tasks, exposure, decision making, and proof of capability. In the cybersecurity ecosystem, even a home lab can create experiences for you. A volunteer audit can create experience. A documented PCI scoping exercise can create experience. That's my take for now. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. And anybody else? What is your take on this? Can you build experience before your first cybersecurity role? Because for some of these jobs, they are asking for at least some years of experience, or they expect you to be able to do this, do that, do that, do that. Right? Is it where you are going to get the theoretical knowledge and then on the job, you are going to learn as you do? For folks working, did you have the luxury of, learning as you are on the job, like doing and I mean, obviously, for even people who've been working in the industry for years, you're always going to run into different problems and issues. So as you are solving those, you are also adding up to your level of experience. But the core of of what you do uh, is not going to change. So that experience is what we are talking about. RCCG, please go ahead.
Okay, good evening, everybody. Thank you, Doctor. From my own experience, like the other gentleman said, what you do daily, whether it's you setting up your own Wi-Fi and make sure it's secure, change the password, it becomes what you do, what you take interest in. You build the experience, whether paid or unpaid. For me, initially, though, I had some experience back, in Africa during internship with a data processing company, and we worked on mini computers. But then I wasn't really serious because I was just a young chap, right? So, but I gained some things when it comes to troubleshooting mini and mainframe computers. I know some things. I mean, I can start talking to tomorrow because I watch people do it. And that can be counted for experience. I'll tell you a story which may not be relevant. This guy went to the embassy. I was also, applying for a visa, and they were asking him, "What do you do for your boss?" "Oh, my boss is a computer engineer. I'll make sure I carry his bag. I make sure all his tools are ready so that when he needs anything, I just hand it over to him." Guess what? The guy just gave him the visa. He carries the tool bag for the engineer. He makes sure everything he needs to repair the computer is there. I was like, oh my God. That was his experience. They gave him visa, no deny everything. So what you do, starting from your home to volunteering in the church or wherever like you're setting things up, that accumulates to experience. And everybody has a laptop. Do you know there's a firewall in your laptop? Have you messed around with it? So you begin to humiliate somebody that, trying to mess up with some of this IT stuff. Those will end up being your experience. Like Doctor said, for instance, if I start talking about Windows firewall, which most of us don't even think about, I may get an upper hand than somebody who has, experience over some higher frame firewall. What I'm saying is that familiarity with a kind of concept, technology can make you stand out. And that may be your only experience that will get you that job. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Anybody else? And then we are going to move on into our top 5 list. Now, to piggyback on what our brother just said. So let's say you play drums for your church, and you play every week. Every week you play different, and sometimes you even go to play for other churches for free. You play different church concerts and stuff. And all of a sudden, let's say Beyonce needs a drummer. Do you think you have some experience, or nobody has ever paid you to play in that professional arena, so you don't have experience?
You do.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
you
you might
do.
even be able to play even better than people who've been paid to play for the past 15 years. Right. Because of what you've been exposed to, the different types of, because in church, you have all sort of people singing. Some are singing out of note, some are singing in note, and you are able to make all of that work. People who are playing at international level, when somebody sings out of note, they'll be confused. They wouldn't know what to do. But you've
Yeah.
done it all. Right. So this simple example should, let everybody start thinking. All right. Okay. So don't don't throw away all that you have coming into cybersecurity. Right. And that is part of your experience. And we have to put it in context to make it work, and so this is what we are going to go through. Now we've established that yes, you can gain experience. You don't have to be in a paid position to gain experience in cybersecurity. So that answers the question of I'm new to IT, I'm new to cybersecurity, they need years of experience. How do I go about doing this? Now we know you can get it without getting into a role. Before you get into a role, you can gain experience. Right. So what are the top 5 ways of doing this? Right. So we just explained one of the biggest misconceptions is thinking that cybersecurity experience can only come from paid cybersecurity jobs. There are some people in cybersecurity, in a cybersecurity role, cybersecurity analyst, cybersecurity whatever, and they are just occupying a position. If they leave that role, they are going to struggle to get a new job. But they will say, I've worked in cybersecurity for 5 years. So do they have 5 years of experience or just 5 years of occupying a role? Most people, it's just 5 years of occupying a role. Right. So that is why you shouldn't underestimate what you can do and what you are bringing to the table, most especially if you've worked on some projects, right? So it is not true you can gain experience. It is not true that you need to be in a paid position to gain cybersecurity experience. You can gain experience without being in a paid position or without your first role in cybersecurity, right? And like I said, some cyber chats ago, just think about it. Everybody working in cybersecurity, before they got their first cybersecurity role, what was the experience? They didn't have any paid cybersecurity experience. before their first paid cybersecurity role, they didn't have any paid cybersecurity experience, but they had experience coming from, what they were doing and what they've done and putting all of that together to really bundle it and show somebody that, hey, this is all that I've done, and this is what qualifies me to be able to do this role. So even though I've not worked in cybersecurity for all these years, in a paid position, maybe I volunteered for this company, I volunteered for this church, I'm the one who's running this. And if you can speak to that, they are looking for somebody who can do the job, not somebody. That is why whether you've worked in cybersecurity for 6 years or 200 years, we are all going to go to the same interview, right? So your years of your supposedly years of working in cybersecurity and your certifications on your degrees are not going to intimidate anybody. They are going to bring you and the person with no degrees, no certifications, maybe some experience or not on paper. You're all going to come into the interview if you get selected by the ATS system. Now, during the interview is where they're really going to discover who has the experience. Because if you have the experience, you have it. If I ask you right now about maybe where you live or the car you drive, talk to me about it. Like, what is your experience with it, right? That was when I was stationed in Germany. I think there was I was driving around one time, and this was a new vehicle that has just come up. It was a Volkswagen, and one lady ran up to me and she's like, "Well," and I think I've had the car for a new car. I've had it for probably like 3 months or 4 months. She came to me and asked, "So, like, what is your experience with this car? I'm looking into buying one of these." And if the lady didn't say thank you very much, I have to go. I was probably going to talk to her for 3 days about the car. Right? No, it's this, and you can do this, and I love it. It's fast. I was so excited to talk to her about, and I could talk to her all day about it because I had the experience. But if I didn't, and maybe I happened to meet her somewhere and she's asking, we are, talking about maybe at the bus station, and she's, well, I'm thinking about getting this car. What do you think? And I want to pose that, oh yeah, of course, this is a nice car. It drives good, and I even have one. And but if I didn't, I would just be talking vaguely and in circles. And if maybe she had one, but she was posing she didn't have, and she just wanted to, kind of trick me and see what, I would have been in trouble. Right. So experience, you cannot, the point I'm trying to make is you cannot fake experience. Right. You can fake your resume. But when it gets to interviews, that is where some people will literally just log themselves out, or they will just, cut the interview call, and just, or they are pleading and wishing it is going to end for them to. And you feel so bad during the whole day, right? And it's not you. Maybe probably the kind of training you went through, you don't know what you don't know, and they promised you that what they've taught you, all the theory and stuff is what is needed. So just go there and say this and say that, right? And that you are going there to make a big mess out of yourself. So hiring managers, they are looking for evidence of what you've done, and can you really do this? Have you done this? How you think, how you document stuff, your interpersonal skills, communication skills, all these other soft skills as well. It's not just about being in a paid position, right? So in 2016, in 2026, employers, like we also, the cybersecurity job market is still hot. It's not going down anytime soon. Statistically, Bureau of Labor Statistics projects the growth of cybersecurity jobs 29%, to move from 29% from 2024 to 2034. Right? And this is much faster than the national average in the whole of IT space and beyond. Median salary for cybersecurity professionals, 124K, with or without a degree. Right. Now, why is it so high? Because supply is low, demand is high. So if the money don't go up, then you don't get the most qualified people to come and work for you. Right. But to be among the most qualified, employers are looking for experience. And we've just established you don't have to be in a cybersecurity paid role to get the experience, right? So employers, they expect candidates to show practical readiness, not just interest. Oh yeah, I want to switch into cybersecurity and I want to. Uh, it's more about what have you done, so you can build credible experience before your first role in cybersecurity, right? And that is what we are going to be discussing. The first thing or the first way of building credible cybersecurity experience before your first role is to build real world cybersecurity projects, not just labs, right? And we are going to explain and break that down more. Now, building a cybersecurity lab is really good. It's really going to expose you to some of the technicalities of the things we do. Like our brother just said, your laptop has a firewall, and he made a very excellent point. So if you hear about firewall, and it sounds like quantum physics, something that is abstract out, you have it on your laptop, right? You can literally go to your search bar and type in firewall. It's going to pull it up, open it up and see what is in there. So this is the firewall they are talking about, right? This is it. And then you can see the different sections of it and just play around with it. Because curiosity is one of the key attributes of the cybersecurity professional. So and now when you hear somebody talk about firewall or you have to explain firewall, you've seen it, you've configured yours, you even messed it up and you have to Google and see how to reconfigure it back again to be safe. Right. That is experience. You don't have to be paid to do that, to say you can do that. Because if you've done it on your laptop and you've messed with it, you'll be able to put it back together, you research into it, you fix. Now, as you are doing that, right, you run into some ports, some protocols. This is secure, this is weak, that is also going to, now you are learning, right? So if somebody asks you for your firewall, for your access control list, why should we allow, or why shouldn't we allow traffic on HTTP? Even if you are not a network guru or you don't even have a strong network foundation, but you are just curious, when you looked at your firewall, you're looking at all these list of things, allow, deny, allow, you're like, what is this allow, deny thing? And you looked it up and you research into it. And you were also doing some of the allow, deny, closing, and setting. So now you understand the concept and why they are doing that, why that is being done. You can speak to it anywhere. And if they give you the chance to, okay, so demonstrate and let us see, can't you do it? You've done it on your laptop a couple of times. You can do it, right? Now, when it comes to building cybersecurity labs, you are building a virtual environment. That is what now AWS, Azure, and Microsoft and AWS and Amazon, and they've taken it to the next level, and they are making billions out of it. It's simply a lab that they've created. Now it is a production environment. And reason why I'm saying it's simply a lab is labs were built on, so you can have your lab. Previously, you buy your servers and stuff and build a mini lab. So physically connecting them. Now, if you are doing networking, that is very good for you too, because that is what you're actually going to be doing on the job. Now, if you are just doing cybersecurity, you can have a virtual lab. In the virtual lab, the concept of the virtual lab is what we've used to create our cloud computing services, right? So creating your own lab, and like if you go through our cybersecurity entry-level course, module 5 walks you through how to create your own cybersecurity lab, and it's pretty fun. We introduce you to hypervisors and what they are, and how to have different systems, a Windows system on a Mac or Mac system on a Windows system. You're going to go through all that, vulnerable machines, different tools, do scans. That is a lab, right? Working in those environments really expose you. It really helps you to understand most of the technicalities of cybersecurity. So without doing coding, you'll be able to, at least we expose you to that. So doing a lab is good, but doing just a lab is not enough. But you are way ahead of somebody who's never done a lab before, like somebody just coming from theory. You are miles ahead of that person. But somebody who has done a lab and they've also worked on real world cybersecurity projects, they are what employers are looking for, right? So gain experience by completing real world cybersecurity projects that mirror what professionals will do. And this is just taking the words out of my mouth for our cybersecurity GRC and internship. So GRC hands-on and internship that we call our workshop and internship. session, right? You work on real world cybersecurity projects, and that mimics exactly what you are going to be doing anywhere that you're going to, find yourself. Now, Syria, one of our GRC internship, in our GRC participants who is currently working, during one of the graduations, he was a guest speaker, and he said what he did during the GRC workshop and internship is harder than what he's doing on the job now. Now, what he's doing on the job now is easy. What they did during the GRC internship, because of the time frame they had to work and submit these projects and stuff. Now, on the job is way easier, and he's loving it. And he can literally do everybody's job like everybody on his team's job because of the number of projects that we did. So if somebody is a third-party risk analyst, you can do their job because you've done that. If somebody is a risk analyst, you can do their job. You've done that. If somebody is a vulnerability analyst, you can do that. Somebody is just GRC, doing GRC analyst, you can do that because you've done all those roles, right? So this even positions you for managerial roles as well because you can manage a cybersecurity team, right? Now, for most beginners, if during interviews I've completed a lab or I built a lab, I have all that is good, but employers are looking for projects that you've done because projects demonstrate capability. Labs will teach you concepts and some of the technicalities of cybersecurity. But if you are doing the project, you go beyond just concepts. You are now implementing, you are thinking, you are strategizing, right? Critical thinking. For our GRC interns, they know for every project you do a presentation on it. So now you are not just gaining technical skills, you are also polishing up on your soft skills and breaking down complex concepts into basic, simple, terms for other business partners. And two, for every single project they do, it's not just we did it this way and that way. Why? There's always that why. We push you. Why not this way? You could have gone this way, but why did you choose? So you always have to defend any action or decision that you take. And that is what you're going to be doing in cybersecurity. There is no one answer to every situation or every question. So you should understand what you are doing well enough to be able to explain to, people who are going to pay for what you are doing, reason why you are doing what you are doing, right? And it should make sense to them. So a strong cybersecurity project should include the problem. So what risks, vulnerability, compliance gaps were identified, security issues were you addressing, what security issues were you addressing, the environment, what systems, what tools, cloud environment policies or business processes were involved in what you were doing, the work performed, what steps did you take, the evidence, so screenshots, reports, configuration, risk registers, control mapping, policies you made, findings, right? So this is what employers are looking for. And if you've done this, like the example that I gave you, somebody asked me about a car that I just bought for about 3 or 4 months ago. She had to say, oh, thank you. Thank you very much. I have to go. I will literally have talked all day about the car, right? Because I had that experience and I loved it. I've been driving it all over the place. And in Germany, some roads have no speed limits. And I was having fun with it, right? You just get on Autobahn and you just like you have maybe 120. And as you get to a certain point, they will cross it out. You see another sign with 120 crossed out. It means from that point on, there's no speed limit. You can go till you die, right? And I was having fun with this car the whole time. And somebody, she really, came to ask me about, oh, I'm really thinking about what do you think? I was just going to talk to her. Her ears fell off, right? Because I had the experience. And if I didn't, then I would have felt she was bothering me. I mean, it's nice. It's a nice car. It drives well. And maybe if I borrowed it from somebody and for just that day, and she was asking me, and I wanted to just talk big talk, I would have just been saying big stuff. That this I could tell her every single detail. You know what? Maybe I might kind of sound like a car nerd, but I had really actually read most of the manual for the car. I don't think anybody here reads manuals for this. Well, I mean, let's just don't judge Dr. Edu. Let's just move on, right? Now we are moving on to in terms of the outcome, right? What was improved what you detected, documentation, remediation strategies that you put in place, or recommendations. This is what employers are looking for, right? So if you are, in terms of real world, you are kind of lost what to show or what employers are really looking for. This is a list of some of it, right? Now, why this matters, everything that we've looked at. Now we are just looking at what we saw. The NICE framework, cybersecurity framework that we just saw before we started this discussion. The NICE framework describes a common role. So the when we looked at the categories, right, we have compliance and others, and they bundle all cybersecurity roles into a common work role, and then they have knowledge and skills that are needed to perform those work roles. And that is where the practical hands-on project part comes into play, right? And this cuts across private sector, public sector, government. So employers, and the NICE framework was made for education, hiring managers, hands-on learning, apprenticeship, job descriptions, candidate skills assessment. So if you are lost in terms of what skills you need in terms of real world hands-on, the tool I showed you, if you go there, it will lead you to the NICE cybersecurity framework. And that is really for every major role. There are knowledge and skills you need to be able to do those roles. And just familiarize yourself with it. There are so many of them. And you shouldn't, in cybersecurity, when you are breaking into cybersecurity, you shouldn't be chasing a specialty. You should be chasing a sector. So everybody breaking into cybersecurity, easiest path is to go on the defensive side. Now, on the defensive side, there are so many things going on, different job titles, blah, blah, blah. Don't be chasing job titles. Chase the foundation that cuts across all job titles. Now work on some projects, and that is the trick. You should be good, right? And that is how our entry level is structured. Now, what are some of the examples for beginners who are doing projects? So for technical cybersecurity projects, real world projects that you can do from the lab side, you can build a home SOC lab environment. And this, you might say, well, but Dr. Edu, I've not worked in cybersecurity, so how can I build a home lab? If you go through training like ours, you'll be able to do this, or you can still research and learn by doing on your own, right? If at least you have some IT orientation, or maybe you have somebody to guide you, you can also do this on your own. Because the reason why we do this Cyber Chat is not just to sell Eretmis courses, but to really show you what right looks like and how you'll be able to break into the security space. If you choose to go with Eretmis, with our courses and stuff, okay, that is more power to you, because that really also is, I can speak to that, is the best training programs out there. But if not, I'm showing you other ways that you can do this, right? So perform vulnerability scans using Nexus Qualys. Now, Nexus, they have free versions out there. OpenVAS is free. Last time I checked. Qualys, they also have a community edition, right? So all these are tools that you can use to practice, right? Now you can school yourself on other places. Even for the websites for these companies, they have like some tutorials on there that you can learn on how to use these tools. And this is just building your lab, right? You can also create incident response reports, simulate phishing, malware attacks, harden Windows, Linux using Linux, harden Windows or Linux systems using CIS benchmarks, build a cloud security project in AWS, Azure, Google Cloud. Now, this is how, in terms of the technical side, some of the ways you can polish up, gain experience. Now, from a hiring manager's perspective, as a hiring manager, if I'm a hiring manager, and I do not a hiring manager, but I do, hire people and sit on other hiring processes for other companies as well. Your resume is good. You are going to start with your resume. So I review a beginner's resume. Yeah, I'm not really. People think the more tools they list and certifications they list, that really it impresses you, not me. Right? Nobody on the other side is looking at your resume and go like, "Wow, geez, you have so much." So that is a curse more than a blessing for most people, especially for career switches. So for folks who are chasing CISSP, CISA, everything, it will be a curse for you. Why is that? Now, when I see that list, my expectation go way up. Right now, I expect the world from you. And you are coming in with no projects, with nothing. Even with the theoretical knowledge that helped you to pass this, you've forgotten most of it. And I'm asking you basic cybersecurity kindergarten questions, and you're all over the place. You look like a moron. Right now, I'm doubting how you even got these certifications. Like, what did you memorize some test questions, or somebody wrote the certifications for you? Right. But if you come, you are not going too fast ahead of yourself. At least you have your security plus, maybe security analyst. Okay, it's good. It's not like still, I'm not going to ask you the same questions, but now you don't come in with any huge expectations. So if I ask you a question and you hit a home run, you look better than somebody who came in a lot of expectations. If they give me the same answers, I'm not super impressed. You know, I mean, you have CISSP, so I expect you to say this and to be able to look at it from this perspective, right? So now you see how you are creating some expectations for yourself by chasing all the big because you think those are going to impress the employers and that is going to make them give you the job. That is the other way around, right? What is going to impress them is if you've performed the actual, if you've actually done the job. So maybe I did this project for this non-profit and I was helping them with their risk assessment. I did their risk rating. I mapped each of these to CIS controls. I created a remediation plan. That is what is going to impress me and everybody else who is trying to employ you, not your list of certifications or impressive degrees. All that they are good, but in security, the more certifications you are stacking up, the more expectations you are putting on your own self, and the less you are able to deliver even the bare minimum in terms of knowledge and skill. Now you are taking yourself into a hole, right? But somebody comes in with security plus, security analyst, maybe one or two certifications is good. Now, not too much of expectation. So the little they do looks like a mountain. Oh, wow, they've done really well. But if you come with all these expectations on yourself and you don't have what it takes, and then now you just created a big hole for yourself, right? So hopefully that is good. Now, we are going to move on. So what is expected of you is what we've just talked about. It's not your list of credentials that is going to really necessarily impress. So the second way of doing this is get some hands-on experience through internship, apprenticeship, volunteer work, and real organizations. Now, some people ask, but for the Eretmis hands-on workshop, why do we even charge people to do this? We charge people to participate in this because we teach you how to do the projects. Either than that, you can just volunteer for any other company. I mean, when you are volunteering for them, they expect you to know what you are doing and should be. If you are lucky, you find a cybersecurity team there and you tag yourself to them, and now they know they don't have any expectations of you. They know you are there to learn. So, and you have to also be ready and willing to learn. So you want to help everybody and learn everybody's job as much as. So you have to be eager to learn, right? Now they Eretmis GRC workshop and internship is more structured. We do projects in certain order for it to make more sense to you. And we teach you every single one, and we teach you how it is done, the science behind it, the why, the critical thinking part of it, and then you go do it. Feedback, you work in a team, you do the presentation. So that is why you are paying for it. Sometimes some people think, well, but the company we're doing these for have to pay us. Well, they do use the projects that you are doing, but they don't really necessarily need it, right? So we get to use them as guinea pigs, and what they get in return is we polish up their policies for them. We do risk, conduct risk assessment for them. Right. So that is why. But aside Eretmis GRC hands-on workshop and internship, you can do internship in other companies. Now we've had students who were in our GRC workshop and internship, and when they were doing their bachelor's in cybersecurity or master's, and their school offered them an internship with different companies. They ended up being the ones who were helping the cybersecurity professionals in those companies to do their work. They didn't go there to learn. They were the ones rather teaching the people there to do the work. And we've had several of them, come to Cyber Chat and talk about this. So sometimes if you are not lucky, even if you get a full, internship elsewhere, you're really not going to do much, right? But if you're lucky and you get in a good team, somebody takes you under their wing, they teach you, and mostly they are just going to be teaching you what they are doing. So if it is a third-party risk analyst who takes you under their wing, all you are doing is just third-party the whole 3 months or there that you are there. You are there. But for our GRC workshop and internship, you do almost everything, right? And you're on a time crunch. So third-party that is going to take, a company, somebody working in company maybe 2-3 months to do, you are doing it in 2 weeks. So the pressure, being able, so if you're able to do this within these stipulated times, that is why Serial was saying on the job is easy. The internship was hard. The workshop and internship, Eretmis workshop and internship, GRC was harder than what he's doing on the job. Because on the job, you have at least 3-4 months to do your risk register, or maybe even 2 months. Here you have at most 2 weeks, right? And we are going to, so we are not looking for just time, but quality. And that is why when you're done, you do your presentations and stuff as well. And then we critique, we correct, make, and you have mentors who have gone through this and currently working. They're also there to help and guide you as well. You can also volunteer. So in your church, I don't think anybody's church here necessarily, has a cybersecurity team. You can set one up for them. Build a cybersecurity program for them from scratch, especially for folks who've gone through our GRC workshop and internship. If you're not doing that, then you are doing your church a big disservice. Set a cybersecurity team for them, and that will also give opportunities for people in your church who have a degree in cybersecurity or have had some training, right? So now you literally become the CSO for your church. And you are managing the cybersecurity affairs for your church. And you think because you're not getting paid, somebody is going to say you don't have that experience. You do, right? And now you're managing other cybersecurity professionals. So you really have to grow very fast. Your management skills and also managing the cybersecurity program. So not just people, but the program itself. And you can volunteer for nonprofit organizations in your city, in your county. There are so many, nonprofits, or even for the fire department, you can volunteer, to go do that. Now, not to necessarily go stand their network and stuff. You can start with the governance stuff. Hey, what do you guys do for cybersecurity? I can help you put a structure in place. Do your policies for you, your standards, your procedures, do this for you, do that. I don't think anybody is going to say, no, we don't need it. Everybody is going to welcome you. Your kids' school, do they have a cybersecurity team in place? Now, these schools, they get hacked they are on the top of, they are very low-hanging fruit for hackers. So you can start from somewhere, right? So to volunteer, you can volunteer anywhere and everywhere. Now, this is the second internship, apprenticeship work, volunteer work, real organizations. Now, like I said, you can do unpaid, part-time, volunteer-based, school-based, or project-based projects for the companies that I've listed, right? And most people, they kind of overlook this when they are searching for jobs, or, you finish the GRC workshop and internship. There's a whole list of companies and entities that you could have started doing volunteering work for, right? So if it's going to take you 6 months, 3 months, 4 months to get a job, even when you get a job, you can still be doing this for them for free on the side, because it is a learning experience for you and you are gaining a lot in terms of, and you don't know where you are going to be. So for the example, for the church one that I gave you, if you come up with, hey, let's set up a cybersecurity structure for your organization, for your church, or for whichever organization, you're literally going to be the CISO for this, the Chief Information Security Officer, because you are running the whole show. And you are the one appointing other volunteers to be a security analyst, a third-party risk analyst, right? So now, if you've never been a CISO, but you put yourself in that position, so you are learning and building a team and growing and learning more about cybersecurity management and leadership at the same time. Now, if you've gone through a workshop and internship, then it's even better because now you can point everybody to the right direction, polish them, teach them, show them, right? And as you are doing that, you are becoming better and better and better, and you are building a very, strong portfolio for the same role that you are going to get paid for, right? So you can gain experience from opportunities that are unpaid, volunteering opportunities, and others as well. And hiring managers or all employers, they value that more than you think. So instead of waiting and just applying to jobs, doing interviews and waiting to get opportunity of a paid role, you can get into an unpaid role. And that is easy and simple to do, right? So you are not looking at, well, I'm not going to work for free. You are not working for free. The experience you are gaining is not free. Somebody is eventually going to pay you for that, right? So don't think you are working for free. Yes, you're not getting paid today, but you're going to get paid tomorrow. Just like the same way I tell everybody else, when you're applying to cybersecurity jobs, that is a full-time job. Well, the hours and time you are using to apply, nobody's paying you for now. But eventually, somebody is going to start paying you when you get a role. They will start paying you for all the time that you wasted applying to all these jobs that they were telling you, we are sorry, we are moving. Somebody is going to eventually pay you for that. So don't get discouraged. So keep applying. The person or the company that's going to pay you is going to pop up very soon, right? Now, we are going to move on to, and also where to get this experience. We just went through a whole, list: non-profit, churches, small businesses, universities, cybersecurity competitions, and others. So there is no limit to where you can get, this. And I think for folks coming from the health side, financial, retail, right, you can, even if you're a nurse in the hospital, you can, dig more into, because every nurse you are managing HIPAA, so you're a HIPAA compliance officer. All these are areas that you can start polishing up on, because most people who are transitioning, they have some cybersecurity background, but they don't even know it. Right. I'm talking about technical, not coding technical, but technical cybersecurity background. But you don't even know you have that until we point you in the right direction. So hiring managers, they prefer candidates who can speak to what they've done, rather than just, maybe I'm passionate about cybersecurity and I'm studying for Security Plus, or they want people who have actually done something practical. So, and that can be in a paid or unpaid, space. Now, you can use your the third way of how to, gain experience without working in a cybersecurity role. You can use your current job to create cybersecurity adjacent experience. And what do we mean by that? So in everybody's company that you are in now, there is an IT department, there's a cybersecurity department. I'm not sure how many of you have reached out to your cybersecurity or IT department and say, hey, man, I can volunteer and help you guys with some of the stuff you are doing. Yes, you are working in HR, so what? If you reach out to them, I don't think they're going to say no. If they know you are showing genuine interest, you really want to, you can do that on your own time. It doesn't have to be during the work hours, or even, you can pick maybe 2 or 3 people in there. Hey, I can help you with some of these things you are working on. What do you guys need help with? I've been studying cybersecurity, so I can do this, I can do that. They will start giving you some mini projects to do. You are building experience whilst, you are in a different role, but then you are still building experience in the cybersecurity space, right? So, like I said earlier, most people already have cybersecurity related experience, but they do not even know it or recognize it. Their job, because they just think their job title doesn't say cybersecurity, right? And cybersecurity is everywhere, in access control, privacy. Somebody even does physical security, and they think, well, I have no experience in IT or cybersecurity. But do you know physical security is a key component of cybersecurity? Because when you say cybersecurity, people are just thinking about technical security, right? Or logical security. Now, logical security, your firewalls, your all these, your technical solutions, they are all good and nice. But if physical security fails, your logical security is not going to help, because I don't think if you leave your laptop, in the open and somebody grabs your laptop, the firewall on your laptop is going to hold their leg and tell them to put the laptop down. They're going to steal your laptop plus all the expensive security solutions, your firewall, anti-malware, everything that you have on your laptop goes with them. Right. Same thing if somebody gets hold of Amazon's, one of their data centers, and they want to steal maybe half of their servers, or they want to plug in some, malicious software into any of their servers. If they have access to your system and they steal it, or they want to do something bad to it, or maybe even some malicious people, they just want to set fire to your data, they can burn your whole database down. What about that? Where is your logical security, your firewalls and your intrusion detection systems? And right, those are only to save people who are trying to get into your system logically or through the technical way. So if you are doing physical security, you have experience in cybersecurity, because all the physical security things you do and they are technical cybersecurity stuff, right? Have anybody heard of dumpster diving? Have you heard of maybe clean desk policy and all these? Why do we do all that? Physical security, right? Even for access to your buildings, right? We have different physical security strategies in place. Your CCTV is a physical security and a technical security control at the same time, right? So there's a lot that you are doing on your job that might be technical, not just soft skills translating to what you need for cybersecurity, but it might be technical cybersecurity stuff that you are not even aware of, right? So business continuity, policy enforcement, documentation, audit support, whether you are doing it on the financial side, all of that is needed in the cybersecurity space. System handling data, all of that, user training. So if you're a teacher and you think, well, I don't have any experience, well, awareness training, another, cybersecurity education. You think you have experience in teaching, so you don't have experience in cybersecurity education or cybersecurity awareness training, really. Yes, the technicalities might change, but really, the core skills of teaching will not change, right? So, with this, we are also going to move into. So, this is just some note on Bureau of Labor Statistics. They were during the analysis of cybersecurity analysts. They said for a cybersecurity analyst, you are going to be working with different teams. The networking folks, if there's a breach, you are going to be preparing reports, develop. So they have a list of things that you are going to be doing, which falls in line with what is in the industry now. Now, in most of these roles that you are going to be in, it's going to overlap into different areas within the organization. So that means that from anywhere you are coming from, what you have in terms of skills are needed. So how to turn your current job into a cybersecurity experience? Look for security or cybersecurity related tasks in your current role, such as managing user access, handling confidential data, following privacy laws, reporting suspicious emails, supporting audits, training users, working with vendors, maintaining records, supporting incident escalation, ensuring compliance with internal policies. All these are cybersecurity things. So if you are doing this, don't think because maybe there's no cybersecurity tag to it, it's not cybersecurity related. It is. And then also, hopefully my audio is still good. All right. So for as a hiring manager or your actually hiring manager or your IT team, to help them with anything that they are doing with, right? Can I shadow you during risk assessment? And they will happily help you. I mean, if somebody approaches you today and they said, hey, I know this is what you do. Can I help you do this? And somebody wants to take or do some part of your job for you, of course, you're going to show them how to do it and have them do it for you. So they will be more than happy to, show you, and you'll be able to help them. And in doing that, you also gain that experience that you're looking for, right? So examples of some of the background. So if you are doing help desk or IT support, some of the things that you do that are cybersecurity related listed on here. If you're a project manager, risk tracking, risk implementation, audit, remediation tracking, and all these are cybersecurity related, right? For the health side, as a health professional, as a nurse, HIPAA privacy and security awareness, patient data protection, access control, medical device security awareness. If you're in the financial side or accounting side, PCI DSS awareness, fraud, risks, assets reviews, vendor risks, all these are cybersecurity related, right? Now, from a hiring manager's perspective, they are hiring people who did not start with the cybersecurity title, but have strong adjacent experience, right? So, like I said, everybody in cybersecurity, before your first cybersecurity job, you didn't have any paid cybersecurity job, but you were able to prove that you have that experience for them to give you that role, right? So yes, the jobs are there, but you have to prove to them that yes, maybe I've not worked in cybersecurity for 200 years, but I have the relevant experience to be able to pull this up and even do it better than people who've been doing it for years, right? So career switches, your goal is not to erase your background. Your goal is to translate whatever you've done into cybersecurity language. And then there are some things that are technical anyways. So those will just easily perfectly fit into the cybersecurity space. Now, the fourth item that we are looking at in terms of how to build your experience is to build a professional cybersecurity portfolio with evidence, right? So all the work that we've talked about, you should do this, you should volunteer, if you don't document it, sometimes when you are speaking to it, you are going to forget what you've done, right? That is why on your job that is outside cybersecurity, every year they do your evaluation or your appraisal or, whatever they might want to call it. So, your boss will sit down with you and say, okay, you did this, you did that, blah, blah, blah. Now, if you leave the things you did during the year or the month to your boss, you end up not doing anything, even though you busted your behind and you worked very hard, because your boss is not necessarily going to be tracking everything you're doing. So you have to keep track of what you've done, all the projects, the impact you made. So when you sit down with your boss and you're asking for a raise, you can go down the list. I did this, he saved that this, I did that, this was the results, this was the impact, right? And now they have no option but to be okay, I see your point there, yeah, right? But if you come to them with nothing, hoping they documented it, they are not going to document it. Right? They will document all the things they think you did wrong, minus the things you did to save the company a lot of money. So same thing here. If you've done the projects, but you've not, completed a portfolio, you've not really put them together to help you to be able to speak to them or to show, then it is as if you never did the projects, right? So how you are going to also prove that you have the evidence. So your resume tells people what you claim you can do, or what you are in terms of how you're presenting yourself. But your portfolio shows really what you can do and what you've done, right? So employers are looking for what you've done, not what you are claiming you can do, right? So your resume is claiming, okay, I can do all these things, but really, how are you going to show them what you've done? By not just giving them a portfolio, but you are the portfolio. So you have to be able to speak to the portfolio. During your interview, you are literally speaking to your portfolio. So if you've not created one yourself, even though you've done some projects, then now during the interviews, you are all over the place. And sometimes if you are not, very articulate and you think you've done it, so they should know you've done it, but you're not a good speaker and you cannot really break it down and explain it how it's really going to make sense to them, then it will sound like you sound kind of, what you're talking about, but we're not really getting it. It's like you've done it, but you're not saying it well. So if they are not getting it, then obviously they're not going to give you the role, right? So you have to be able to provide proof, and the proof is your portfolio. And your portfolio is from your portfolio that you're going to be speaking during interviews, right? So everything that you do, document it. That means you are building a portfolio. Now we are going to go through what are some of the key areas or key things you have to get in your portfolio. So your portfolio should include, items like your vulnerability assessment report that you worked on, incident response, risk register, risk assessment, your security policies you worked on, assets reviews, audit checklist, if you did cloud security review, your SIM investigation write-ups, right? And the list goes on, phishing awareness, security awareness training, vendor risk assessment, AI governance risk assessment. So these are things that are going to be in your portfolio, right? So all the projects that you've done, now you have to sanitize it though. So you shouldn't include sensitive data, sensitive information, your clients, secrets or login, password, internal screenshots and stuff like that. You should be able to sense it, at least sensitize that a little bit more. Harold, please go ahead.
Thank you, Doug. May I know, must all of these be on your CV? Because it will give you a much
No.
length.
So your portfolio is different from your CV or your resume, right?
Okay.
Now, your resume should
it's something
be
you carry during interview.
No, so okay, let me just break that down for you. Now, your resume should be at most 2 pages, right? Your resume should speak to should speak directly to the job description, and it should show your work experience. So I worked in this company, I did these projects, right? And that is where your volunteer work and all those are going to come in, right? So maybe now if I work in CVS as maybe like a cashier or like one of the sales clerks there. But then I'm volunteering for my church and I'm doing a CISO role. On my cybersecurity resume, I'm going to put the church and the CISO role, not the CVS, what I'm doing there. Right. Now, your resume is only supposed to be 2 pages, at most 2 pages. So the 2 pages should cover, everything that is on the job description. Now, your portfolio, there's no limit to the pages of your portfolio because your portfolio will include the projects you did, step by step what you did. I did this, I did that, I did that, I did that. And then you have some evidence to support it. So it shouldn't be just you should have your Word document or your PDF. And then in your portfolio folder, you should have maybe the risk register you worked on. You should have this, you should have that. So if it is an online portal that you have for your portfolio, you can, sanitize and upload some of these things on there as well. If it's a GitHub, setup that you have, you can put that on there. On LinkedIn, you can put just the things you did in a portfolio format. So I did this. This was the projects, the situation, the projects that we did, the results, the action we took, the results, right? And you can break them down, right, and put it on there. So if anybody goes to your page, they can see, oh, you did some third-party risk analyst projects. You did maybe incident response projects. You've conducted awareness training. You've done, right. Now on LinkedIn, it's not even going to have the chance for you to post, every single thing. Or you can even put a link to some of the projects that you've done. And like I'm saying, you shouldn't have any sensitive data or sensitive information in there. Right. So your portfolio is totally different. Now, when you've prepared your portfolio really well, it's easy to speak to your portfolio during interviews because they're asking you about projects. Have you worked on this? What is your experience working with a risk register? Now you're just recollecting what you've done, or you are just going through in your mind what you did what you've actually done in the form of the portfolio. You'll be able to speak to it, right? I did this, and we've seen this too many times. We've had students who've gone through the internship and workshop. Once they're done, because they didn't really pay attention to the portfolio part, they'll go to an interview and they'll pull a blank. They'll ask them about something. Okay, tell me about your experience. And somebody will just take 10 minutes talking about policy. You did 8 to 10 projects, major projects. Is your experience just working on policies? And you could see from the recording he brought that he could only remember policies because we did it over a period of 10 weeks, 12 weeks. So but if you don't, so now for the longest, and this is outside the projects, the last thing that we do is the teams are going to create a portfolio and they're going to present it. So now, if you forgot all the things that you've done, all the projects, we give you the chance to go back and the evidence, all the projects that you worked on, you have them already, right? So the evidence is there. You just have to make sure it is structured well. So hopefully that helps. Now, for your project, so this is how a portfolio should be structured. The project title, the business scenario that called for that project, the objective of the project, the tools, the frameworks you use, the steps perform that you took to perform this, the findings, the recommendations, the lessons learned, then your evidence, your artifacts, and your screenshots, right? So this should be for all the projects that you've worked on. And as you can always, the portfolio is a living document. As you're working on more, you can be. Right. So this is just a snapshot of what it should look like. Maybe the project was vulnerability assessment for a small business network. The tools you use were this, and we didn't go through the whole entire list, but at least this is some good, something for you to go off on. And then for security review project, same investigation project, PCI awareness project. So your portfolio really, at least if you go through everything that is on here, all these nine items, you cover all of them, you have a very decent portfolio. Now, hiring managers, they are looking for, what you've done. And what you've done, you can only speak to it if you have a very good portfolio, because that is going to help you even when you are prepping for your interviews, right? So because they are more interested in how did you rate this risk high, and what was the finding, what was the mitigation, what was right. So if you've done it, it's easy to speak about. If not, now we are going to be looking at our last on the top list, and then we'll wrap up for the night. So for folks who join us a little bit late, we encourage you to join our GRC interview arena. Now, the goal of this is you have to practice your interviewing skills before you have an interview, not when you are going to an interview on Tuesday, right? So this is where we put you in a live environment. You are going to be in the spot. We put somebody on the spot every week. We ask you questions based on a job description, and you have the job description ahead of time to prep, right? And then we go through about 4 interview sessions at different levels. So recruiter, your hiring manager, we move into your security manager, and then leadership, your CISO, and questions like that. And we give you really good feedback to polish up on your interviewing skills. And then for folks who are looking to break into the security space, this is the best cybersecurity program that is going to help you break into the cybersecurity space, right? You are not going to get a job and be a working heart attack that you can't do your job, even though you've landed 170, 180K job. You will be able to, everybody who's gone through this, nobody has come back and asking for help because of what you're going to go through, right? So this is 4.5 months, 2 months of very intensive, foundational background, and then 2.5 months of hands-on where you're going to work on different cybersecurity projects to build your portfolio, right? And then we help with interview prep and resume as well. And then our GRC workshop and internship. This is the second portion of the entry level course. So for folks who've already had some cybersecurity training, you've gone through school, you have a degree or bachelor's in cybersecurity, this is the best program for you to gain the real world hands-on experience that employers are looking for, right? That way you don't become what I call a working heart attack, because you're going to get a job and now you have to go back to your significant other to tell them you are quitting a 180, 150K job that you all went to church to give thanks to God. You are quitting in about 2 months. Everybody's going to chase you around with sticks and stones, right? But if you don't quit, you are going to get a heart attack. So you don't want to put yourself in that spot. So you have to get the right skills to be able to function in any role. And for folks who are looking to expand your security expedition, not just expedition, but really what you can do in the security space, you have to expand beyond on-prem. Every company is in the cloud now, so you have to polish up on your cloud security, AWS, Azure, Google Cloud, and be able to do more. And this program will help you to do exactly that. And for AI governance, this is recommended to everyone. If you're already in cybersecurity, you are done looking for a cybersecurity role, this is something that you can add to your portfolio. And that is going to really change the odds, because AI governance roles are eventually going to be tied with cybersecurity roles. So the person who's going to get replaced in cybersecurity is not the person, is the person who don't know how to govern AI. not AI replacing you, right? Harold, please go ahead.
Doug, I want you to give me the relationship between GRC and AI governance. I want to see which is which supports what, and what's the relationship. Is it a necessary addition as far as you are a cybersecurity expert, or GRC?
Okay, so what do you do for AI governance? You are going to do everything in GRC, cybersecurity GRC, and more, right? So in cybersecurity GRC, you do your governance, risk, compliance. That is everything you are going to do in AI governance. But AI governance goes beyond your general governance, risks, and compliance because of the AI tools are trying to mimic human intelligence. They run on data. When we have a normal tool, normal software, it is not trained on data, right? We feed it with rules and what it's supposed to do, and it's automated. It will do that. But AI, because of the nature of AI, there's a lot of different types of risks that we are looking at, right? So if you're already in the cybersecurity space, is I wouldn't say necessary, but a mandated addition. If you are trying to break into IT, is a good path for you to look at, right? So if you are doing GRC, you can just doing GRC wouldn't necessarily qualify you to do AI governance. Yes, because you really don't have that foundation in AI itself to be able to do AI governance. So for this program, you go through AI governance foundation, AI foundation, and then we move you into AI governance, where you are going to be doing everything GRC for AI and beyond, right? Pat, please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. My question is about you mentioned about doing personal labs. I was wondering, is there any PCI DSS labs that we can use?
So the PCI labs, the internship that you went through, that is the best that you are going to have. Now, PCI labs, you are not going to have maybe a virtual environment where you are doing scans and PCI goes way beyond that. And you and I'm saying to Pat because Pat was a part of the PCI program. So for the internship, everything that we did in the internship, that was meant to build a very good portfolio for you to be able to speak to, right? So you still have access to all the recordings and everything you did, all the resources for the internship. So if you want something to practice back on, go back to that.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Yes, you're welcome. All right, so for if you want to play with the big boys, PCI DSS is still arguably the most lucrative niche in the cybersecurity space. So if you want to specialize in this framework, we encourage you to look into our PCI DSS program. The next cohort is also starting in June. Now we are moving into the number 5. So number 5 is practicing or practice role-based simulations, documentation, and interviewing storytelling. So this is the last item that we are going to look at in terms of how to build your experience without being in a cybersecurity role. Now, how are you going to do this? So most people, after doing the projects, going through doing the internships, they get stuck. And we were talking about portfolio. Portfolio falls under the documentation part, right? Now, also you can, as part of everything that we just ran through, in terms of role-based simulations. So it goes all the way from the projects that you've worked on to being able to speak to the projects, right? In a simulation session, kind of the GRC arena, right? So cybersecurity is not just being able to speak to the knowledge piece, but also being able to respond to different scenarios, right? So that is why, for example, for in incident response projects during the GRC workshop and internship, when you do incident response, it is role based simulations because we are doing tabletop exercises. So we go with, okay, this happened, this is the story, this happened. And as the incident response team, what are we going to do about it? So as you are discussing, breaking it down, okay, so this person will do that, that person will do that. That is what we are talking about, the role-based, right? So, for example, you've done all these projects. Now, how do you, in terms of, okay, if I ask you something happened in our organization, all our servers are down, they are offline, we cannot access them. How would we approach this? And this is a typical, interview question that you can get. And this is not, you don't have to experience that to be able to know how to answer that. Based on the projects you've worked on, you should be able to speak to it because it has to do with risks, it has to do with incident response, it has to do with, so you should be able to, on the spot, start breaking this down and all the way to the bottom and start building it up. Okay, so this, if that happened, then these are going to be the possible troubleshooting options. And if it is A, then we'll go with this approach. If it is B, we go with this approach. If it is C, because those questions, the role-based questions, are trying to analyze or trying to evaluate your critical thinking in cybersecurity, right? So if you've done enough projects and you have a very solid foundation in cybersecurity, the next step is to start doing the role-based. So if this happened in your organization, what would you have done or what would be your options? And you're going to see or, have such questions in interviews. And that is going to be based on, your knowledge and the skills and the experience that you've gained through the projects that you've worked on. So you have to start practicing some of these role-based simulations, try answering them, right? And that is going to speak to your curiosity and then also how well you are applying everything and the skills in terms of knowledge and skills that you've gained so far, right? So now with that, we are going to, and for some of the researches that we looked at, like the ISC Square 2025 hiring trends, it reported that top entry-level tasks include documentation, alerts, blah, blah, blah. And the list goes on. Now, junior levels included backup recovery, business continuity, intrusion detection. Now, with all these, it is going to bring us back to cybersecurity is not just about, with theoretical side, or even when you've done projects, you should be able to really draw from these projects, do analytical thinking, and be able to come up with solutions, because on the job, you are going to run into problems that nobody has encountered on the job before. And you have to be able to, based on your experience, you have to be able to come up with solutions for this, right? So for some of the role-based simulations to practice on for SOC analyst path, investigating suspicious alerts. And these are, scenarios that you can create for yourself and work on it, and also research about how to really approach them as well. For GRC side, conducting risk assessment, mapping controls, right, reviewing policies for gaps. And these you would have done in your hands-on portion, but then you can just come up with some crazy scenarios yourself. If you're a group, for most of our GRC internship groups, they still stay together after we are done. So these can be some of the discussions that they can have as well, right? And for the practical documentation, we move into going back to your portfolio. You should practice, documenting everything that you've done, including, creating policies, incident response. So these are some of the things that if you go through our entry level, you would have done, or even if you volunteered somewhere else, you should have been able to go through and do all these evidence notes and all these as well. Right. And then for the storytelling, this is where most people, kind of struggle with. So you should be able to tell your story well, right? If two people went to Bahamas, they came back, maybe Harold and maybe Harold and Abraham went to Bahamas. They came back, we asked Abraham, how was your trip? It was nice. How was Bahamas? It's a nice place. Now, Harold on the other side start off with how he almost missed the flight and how they had this crazy, flight attendant and how So now everybody is really excited about this trip, and we go to Bahamas, and my luggage didn't, wasn't there. But then the hotel folks were so nice, they did. Now, if you have to choose between Abraham and Harold, who actually went to Bahamas, or who you're going to pick for this role, the answer is obvious. Harold was like, oh yeah, it was nice. It was a nice place. But no, Abraham, on the other hand, probably Abraham has been in Bahamas. This is his fifth time. For Harold, this was his first time, but he's so detailed in his storytelling. He's explaining, breaking things down, excitement, lows and highs, right? Taking you on a roller coaster. Obviously, we are going to, if we have to pick a tour guide for our company, we want somebody who's been to Bahamas before to take us there. We will pick Harold, not Abraham. But Abraham, all he's going to say is, oh, it's a nice place. It's nice. Nice food, good people, nice. Really? We might even think he didn't even go on this trip. He's just BSing. But probably he's been there 5 times. So storytelling, very key. Very, very key, right? You cannot underestimate that. And the best way to tell your story is to follow the situation, task, action, results, method. So the STAR method always wins. And then also you can add L to your STAR, to the STAR method. So lessons learned. What was the situation? What was the scenario? What was the task you were responsible for? What did you do? Your action? What was the results? What was the outcome? And then the lesson, what did you learn from this? Right. So you can add a lesson to it. That also makes it perfect. So for the storytelling, if you don't go with this format, you are going to end up talking in circles. And this means that also a tip for everybody, you should go into the interview with enough scenarios prepped for the STAR method, right? So when they ask you the questions throughout your portfolio, you've created the situation, task, action, result for each of these projects you did. So if they ask you a question, if it is a soft skills question to demonstrate how well you work in a team or how much of your good team leader you are, you can pick any of these scenarios that you're working in a team on your portfolio, and you can use that to answer that question. And it's going to be excellent, right? So if you have to create or you have to frame your STAR method during the interview, you are going to struggle. So it means you have to go into the interview prepped. You already know I did 5 projects, 6 projects. What was the STAR method in delivering these projects? What was the situation? What was the task? What was the action? What was the results? What lessons did I learn from this project? And your portfolio can help guide you do that, right? So storytelling is where most people struggle. So a summary of everything that we looked at: build real world security projects, get real exposure through internship, apprenticeship, volunteer work for your church and other places. Turn your current job into cybersecurity adjacent experience. Create cybersecurity portfolio with evidence. That is going to help you with answering your interview questions, even coming up with your storytelling, and then practice role-based simulations and storytelling. Right. So this is a summary of everything that we've looked at. Now in 2026, for everyone trying to break into the cybersecurity space, do not wait for someone to give you the experience. Build it, document it, package it, explain it. You can build your own experience, right? You don't have to wait for somebody to give you a paid job to get the experience. Like I said, there are some people who are even in a paid job and they are just occupying a position. They are not gaining any experience, right? And use this to prove to your potential employers that you have what it takes, right? And then also certifications, they might help. Degrees can also help. Courses can help. But candidates who can show real work will always win, right? So you can have the degrees, you can have the certification, you can do all the courses in the world. If you cannot show real world work or projects, employers, you are really of no use to any employer, right? Because on the job, you are not going to be choosing from multiple choice questions. you are not going to be explaining concepts. You are going to be doing cybersecurity or GRC. And if you can't do and you've not done anything, you are really of no help to them. So they're not going to give you all this big money only to do your job for you. So now Eretmis students, what set them apart? They have a strong foundational knowledge, hands-on. They do some labs as well, real-world cybersecurity projects, GRC, or technical documentation, interview practice, and then you have a strong portfolio as well. So this is what is going to set you apart from everybody else in 2026 for any cybersecurity role. Now, we've seen that the industry is not saturated. Anybody who says that is not true because we've seen the facts. But that also doesn't mean they are just handing out cybersecurity roles like candy. Right. And that also doesn't mean you cannot do this. You can do it, go through the right steps. And now everybody has you've bear witness that employers are looking for what you can do. So chase what you can do, not just certifications or degrees. If you chase what you can do, certifications and degrees are going to follow. Easy and simple. But if you're chasing certifications and degrees, all you can do is to get a certification and to get a degree. And that is not enough to work anywhere, right? So we are wrapping up. We've talked about our GRC internship and our GRC internship arena, our GRC interview arena. This is where you practice your interviewing skills. And for folks looking to break into cybersecurity, our entry-level course. By the time you're done with entry-level course, you are no more an entry-level professional. You're an intermediate cybersecurity professional because you have the experience already. The GRC workshop and internship, this is what gives you that experience for you to work in different cybersecurity roles. And then also our cloud security for folks who are looking to polish up on how to secure the cloud. This is the best program for you as well. And AI governance, this is recommended. I'm recommending this to everybody. Whether you're already in cybersecurity or you are starting off this, everybody should get into this because it is no more nice to have like at the beginning of last year. This is a must-have now. And as you know, as the year is going by the end of the year, if you're in cybersecurity and you really can't do anything, AI governance, you should be rest assured somebody who knows AI governance is gradually going to replace you. And AI governance is still in the infancy stage. So you have to get on this as soon as possible before it becomes too late for you to be chasing it around. And then if you want to, hang out with the cybersecurity experts in PCI DSS, they are the ones managing PCI programs for their companies. And you can't mess with these people because they are subject matter expert and they do their own thing. Nobody knows PCI in the company than them. So you can't show them or give them a list of things to do. They will tell you what they are doing, right? If you want to be in such a role, then we encourage you to look into our payment security compliance program as well. Now, WhatsApp group is going to be posted. I think we posted that already. And if you need any assistance in cybersecurity career advice, kindly you can reach out to us and we will take care of you and help you to get on the right track in cybersecurity. If there are any questions, kindly bring it up before we wrap up for tonight.
Where was
Right.
the
Go ahead.
WhatsApp group posted?
Say that again, please.
You mentioned the WhatsApp group has been posted. Is it in the chat or where?
Yes, in the chat. In the chat, you can use that link to join. I've reposted that again. So yes, you can use that to join. It is in the chat. Yes, and the link to book an appointment and all that is in the chat as well. Right. All right, everyone. Appreciate everybody's time. I think we are almost 9:30 in there. Harold, please go ahead.
Doug, thank you very much. You've done a great job, and I enjoyed the presentation so far. I want to ask this AI governance. What about practical experience? Because some of the time you didn't know that you go through GRC, finish everything, and then you realize that there's a gap of experience you need to gather in terms of projects in order to take your next step. In the case of AI governance, what is built in there? What's the journey so that you can lock into an opportunity? So you
Okay.
don't get surprises along the
So
way.
yes, you are also going to all the programs that we talked about, they all come with hands-on projects and workshop and internship, right? So we don't believe in just theory because cybersecurity is hands-on, IT is hands-on, you have to do, it's not subjective. So you either
Okay.
can do it or you can do it or you can't do it. Right. So for
Okay.
training out there that is just giving you theory, well, I don't know what their goal is. Maybe probably just to have you pass a certification. But like I said, on the job, they are not going to say, Harold, we need you to conduct risk assessment. Choose between these four answers. A, would you do this first? B, nobody's going to do that on the job. Right.
Okay.
Is
Okay.
But you can talk to me about risk assessment or the theoretical aspect of it, the main approaches to risk assessment, quantitative, qualitative, blah, 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 and just talk my head off. If I ask you, okay, we need you to conduct risk assessment for us. You create a risk register and conduct risk and give me your findings. Now that is where you start scratching your head. Well, because now you don't have to, you don't know how to piece all the theory that you know. You don't know how to piece it together. And in terms of practicality, how it is done, it becomes a problem, right? So we believe in the, and we also believe you can't do what you don't know. So we start with the foundation, give you a very strong background in what you are going to do, and then we move into doing. So you get your hands dirty actually working on projects, right?
Great.
Moji,
Thank you
please
very
go ahead.
much.
Yeah. Hello, everyone. So my question is for us that are just newly coming into this um, tech space, what is your advice? Because I see you posted a lot of programs and all that. Then apart from that, what's the course duration for each one? What's the duration?
Okay, so if you're good, so mostly for all the courses that we just talked about, they are all cybersecurity related. Even for AI governance, still falls under cybersecurity, border cybersecurity. Now, if you want to break into cybersecurity, the main program for you to start with is a cybersecurity entry level course, right? That is 4.5 months, 2 months of foundational training and 2.5 months of workshop and internship. That is where you gain the cybersecurity work experience by working on real projects, right? So that is where you start from. Now, the other ones like PCI, all those are advanced programs. The GRC hands-on and workshop is a second portion of the internship and workshop of the entry-level course. Sorry. But it is also a standalone program because some people will say, hey, I have the foundation already. I took some training somewhere. I have a bachelor's degree. I have some certifications. So for those folks, instead of starting from the beginning, they can just move into the GRC workshop and internship, right? Do the work on projects, right? But if you are starting from scratch, I will encourage you to start with the cybersecurity entry level course. By the time you finish with the entry level course, you're a full-blown cybersecurity professional. You can work in different roles. GRC analyst, third-party risk analyst. We have a lot of folks on here who completed this, and they are working in different roles. Some are cybersecurity managers, information assurance managers. Some are working as vulnerability assessors, and they can do all these different roles. If you switch them from one role to the other, they'll still be able to function because they did projects in all these, roles. And even on the job, they know what everybody's supposed to be doing. So in meetings, in wherever they find themselves, they can literally do your job. So whatever you're talking about, they know and they understand, right? So for them, they even go into the job with more experience than people who've been there for years. Because you can be there for 5 years, 6 years, and all you are doing is just one thing. Maybe working on some policies and that's about it, right? But now you come to this program, we expose you to so much, we let you do so much in less time. So on the job, it becomes easier, right? And for everybody, who've completed the GRC workshop or the entry level, if you've not gotten a job, now we just have to fine tune your process of getting a job. Once you get a job, you quickly realize you have way too much knowledge and skill than most of the people who've been there. Right. But because you've not had opportunity, if you are maybe still waiting, applying to jobs, interviewing, you might think, well, because I'm new. And when you get on the job, you quickly realize, why are they even paying these people? You are way better than most of the people on there. Right. So that is why, I keep stressing on these. For folks, if you've gone through any of our programs, we have to fine tune, what you are doing. If you're not getting results, reach out for help, assistance. We are there to help assist you, make sure you're successful, right? So, and we encourage everybody. Sometimes we all have different paths. Sometimes some people, yes, like I can boldly see Sheila here. Sheila did one interview and got that job and got that job 1-for-1, right? Some people have to do maybe 6-for-1. Some people have to do 7-for-1. So it doesn't matter. Eventually, you're going to get a job. Just stay with it. So, and I'm saying this to you for you to know, at Eretmis, we are very practical. We don't have any magic wand. Just do this in 45 days, you get a job. And everybody's saying that they are just saying it. The practical part is prepare yourself for the job. You are eventually going to land the job, right? You are not going to get it on the first try or second try, or maybe you get it on the first try, right? Because there's so much that goes into that dynamic. Sometimes you even apply for a job and they don't have the funds to move the job forward anymore. So they just hold on off that job. And you think, well, they don't like me. No, they don't have money. How would you know, right? So you apply to as many jobs as possible. It's a game of numbers, right? But then not just blindly applying, but tailoring. And we show you all that. We walk you through all that, right? So it's just a process of refining what you're doing. And if you have refined it enough, now you look at the numbers, because if you apply to more, then you get more interviews, then you quickly get a job eventually, right? So, but always strive to be better every single day. Improve your skills, better your skills, and that is the only way you're going to win, right? Because all that trouble you're going through, it is worth it when eventually you land a role. I mean, there are folks here that I don't want to call names out, but some people are making 190, 180. Even if you went to medical school, you know how long it's going to take you to specialize to hit 170, 180. It's going to take you a while, right? So it is really worth it. And it's a path for you to change the trajectory of everything that you're doing, right? Abdul, please go ahead.
Thank you.
Oh, kindly go ahead. You are muted.
Okay, thank you. Yeah. I think when you were giving out the experience, how to gain experience for some of us who are transitioners. So what we've learned from the class is that there's something that we call the least privilege. So in this case, in the case scenario whereby an IT, the firm, the IT firm or the IT department practice this kind of thing, how are you that you are you are from the nursing kind of thing, nursing background or whichever background you are, how can you get into those IT department that they can allow you to get into those you see those work on daily work that they do in the IT department or the cybersecurity people. So that's what I wanted to ask because of the least privilege thing that cybersecurity people encounter.
Yeah, so great point. Now, if let's use I'm going to use you as an example, right? Let's say you're a nurse in a hospital. I'm an admin person in the hospital, but I want to go to nursing school. I want to become a nurse. I don't need to have access in the company as a nurse to access the nursing stuff. And I don't really need to, even if they give me all the access to the nursing documentation and what am I going to do with it? I don't even understand what is there. But if I come to you and I'm like, hey, Abdul, I want to be a nurse. So I want you to be showing me some of the nursing stuff you are doing, just walk me through. And then I'm also going to help if you need assistance with anything. So let's say maybe admin, you're not doing anything, so you come and hang out with the nurses. And somebody comes in and they are taking, their person's vitals, they are, asking them this, asking them that, taking their blood pressure. You are there assisting and looking, right? So you can literally be carrying their blood pressure, machine, pushing it to them and seeing how they are doing it. You can even put it on the person's arm for them, and then they will correct it and make it well. And that is how you learn. And you are learning by doing. So you don't need to have access as a nurse, or you don't need to have access to, or have, have a nursing access to be able to have somebody walk you through and show you what they are doing and help you. And that goes for anybody and everybody, unless, of course, maybe in terms of where there's some sensitivity in terms of the data they are handling. That side they can't show you, but then at least you are going to know the side that is not going to bother on any sensitivity, right? And majority of what you're going to do is not going to bother on the sensitive part of it. Now, even if they can show you something that doesn't bother on sensitivity, it's the same principles and same processes that you're going to use for the sensitive side, right? So hopefully that helps. Abraham, please go ahead.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Edu. Good evening to you and good evening to everyone. I really loved your presentation today. My question is in respect of having projects on resume. I've never done that, but let's say if your resume shows that you're actually coming from IT firm, in fact, you have prior experience in cybersecurity, but not entry level. Are you still obliged to include projects, or that is reserved for entry level cybersecurity specialist alone?
No, so on your resume, like I said, your resume, at least you should be shooting for 2 pages. Right. Now, how you demonstrate what you've done is on the responsibilities session. So if you worked in Eretmis from 2015 to 2020, you list the things that you did. So if performed risk assessment, conducted this, work with cross-functional teams to do this, right? Those are the things you are going to list. Now, those are things from the projects that you've done. So you don't necessarily have to create another session that is talking about your projects. Some people do that, but if you do that, you're kind of limiting yourself, because the projects that if you list just 3 projects, then it means if I'm looking at your resume, have you done only these 3 projects? Only these 3? Maybe you've done more, but because of space, you couldn't put, okay, I worked on these major projects. You couldn't put all of them on there. Or maybe only 3 is what you've worked on. So I would desist from projects should go on your portfolio. On your portfolio, you don't necessarily have to submit your portfolio, but your portfolio is a working document for you. But then also you can display that, in places that allows you to display your portfolio. Because even on LinkedIn, you can't show the evidence of your unless maybe you put a link to where people can click on it and see the risk register that you use, blah, 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 and stuff like that, right? But either than that, you're just going to talk about the projects that you did. So our third-party risk assessment projects, we did this, we did that, and you kind of also sanitize it. You don't necessarily even have to mention some critical and sensitive information that you can, and still people can go through and say, okay, you've done this project, these are the steps you took, right? So make it very interesting for people to go through and follow. If you follow the format of what we've given, and also during your program, your group, you built your own portfolio and we gave you a template as well, right? But your portfolio is supposed to guide you in terms of your delivery during interviews and to show that, yes, I've done this. And if you can also mention your portfolio during interviews. Oh, so in my portfolio, I've done that. Okay, you have your portfolio. Let me take a look at it. Now you have the opportunity to even send them that, right? So projects, putting projects on your resume is really counterproductive, because you are going to have the things you've done, right? Bullets of what you've done in there. That is enough. You don't want to overburden. And some people try to fit 5 pages of resume content on 2 by reducing the font. Don't do that. Now you make your resume like very hard to even read because there's so much stuff on it, right? And it's not ATS friendly. So just keep it simple, straight to the point. What you have to do is tailor your resume.
Sorry about that.
Yes,
recommended font. Is 10.5 okay?
Oh, I'll go with the usual 11 or 12.
Oh, okay. And then one question, Doctor. Sometimes when applying to jobs, it requires that you submit some document aside the resume. You have one link to submit. which will be resume, and the next one will be other documents. I don't know what goes in there apart from cover letter.
Okay, so that is where you can even submit your, if they allow you to submit, you can submit your portfolio if you've really polished it up well. And now also, caveat to that is, if you want to submit your portfolio, make sure you are also going back to your portfolio and tailoring it to the role. So if this is a third-party risk analyst role, you want to do an extensive version of your portfolio focusing on just third party. Right. You are not going to submit your portfolio with incident response, awareness training, blah, 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 and then third party is just taking. So you are writing about, just imagine, like, just look at it this way. If you're writing paper on third party risk assessment, you are not going to write about everything and then third party will have 2 paragraphs. Right. So it is third party. So third party should take the center stage. So if the role you're applying to is a GRC analyst role, then you can, have a portfolio that covers third party governance, because that is all GRC. Right. But if your
Thank you.
if your, the job you're applying to is a vulnerability analyst, you focus on the vulnerability management project you did and do an extensive portfolio of that and just submit that as an additional documentation. Right. So hopefully that helps. Harold, please go ahead.
Oh, yeah, Doug, just a quick one. I thought you were closing, so I want to engage you for just about 5 minutes or less on the side when you are done, please.
That will be okay. So I'll
this
see.
one is over speed, just arresting you briefly on the corner. Yeah,
Okay.
sorry.
And RCCG, please go ahead.
Okay, thank you. Quick question. Do you work with GI bills?
Yeah, so GIAP, we are in the process of, it's taking a little bit a longer time for us to get approved for GI Bill,
Okay.
but we are working on it. But currently we are unable to accept GI Bill.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right, brother. You're welcome. Appreciate everybody's time. Have a great and wonderful weekend. And to all our veterans and our active duty service members, Memorial Day is the day to remember our brothers and sisters in arms who made the ultimate sacrifice. So I don't know if to say Happy Memorial Day because it's not really a happy moment, but thank you all for your service. And we are still, I think I forgot to mention, we have a 30% discount, Memorial Day discount promo going on. That runs until the 31st of this month. So if you're looking to enroll in any of these programs, the 30% promo is still there available for you to use. And we've been sending, some of the info out. So just be on the lookout. That is running until the 31st, right? So have a great and wonderful weekend, everyone. Stay safe, and we'll meet again same time next week for another edition of Cyber Chat.
Okay, thank you, sir.